is in need of a second date update. We're going to try to help him out. Hey, Chase, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Happy to do it. So tell us all about Kimberly.
Yeah, so I met Kimberly over Match, and we ended up going to a really nice dinner at Boca.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
You out of the gate, man.
Nice.
Impressing the lady.
I do love Boca.
Well, we were there probably 2 to 3 hours.
It's easy to do.
And I thought that she was just, in addition to being very attractive, she was really interesting.
How so?
I felt like a really strong connection. And for me, that's pretty rare. I don't usually find somebody that I find both very attractive and who shares the same interests as I do. And that's what I felt.
What are some of the interests you share?
Well, first of all, she was complimenting my clothing, so I know that we have a similar style in terms of fashion. But
Nice.
more than that, it was the subjects that we were talking about. We were talking about our interests and our goals. And mostly, she was just asking a lot of questions about my hobbies, which tells me that we have some serious things in common here.
I love that when somebody's asking questions. I mean, what's kind of iffy about that, though, I know that when Jeff finds himself in a miserable or uncomfortable social situation, his key to keep himself entertained and not have to think too hard is he just asks a lot of questions and lets them talk.
Just pelt him with questions.
Yes, and keep them talking so that you don't really have to offer up much.
Nope, just nod your head and pretend you're listening.
So you're sure that she
I
was...
experienced that. That is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that, her interest was actually just boredom or not knowing what to do. But I'm very hopeful by this. So one thing that gave me a clue was at the end of the day, I walked her to her car, and I did not initiate a kiss just because I think that often puts some undue pressure on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But she initiated a hug to me, and it was strong.
She
And
started.
so that to me was a very good sign.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She said it was strong. I like
Yeah.
that.
Great.
Yeah. And so I told her I would call her, and I have a few times, but she has not responded to me in any way. I try not to text just because I think that it's too, if I took you on a date, I want to give you a call, but she just hasn't responded. So I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there are people in my life who I tend to play telephone tag with, and I get a much faster result if I just text them.
Mhm.
I know Fritz doesn't like talking on the phone.
True. I'd rather, like, if you called me, I will text you back and be like, in a meeting, what's up?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she texted me, I would definitely text her back. But after a date, I just think that it's better to call somebody.
Fair enough. What is her situation? Like you were on Match, obviously, because you're looking to find someone. Is she still sort of in the dating phase where she's still auditioning guys?
Like shopping dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell. She had said that she had been on a few dates, but I'm not sure what that means. I didn't want to pry and start asking about her other relationships.
Yeah, But you haven't gone out with anyone else besides her since the date?
Not in a while. I'm fairly picky. Like I said, it's hard for me to find somebody that I find both attractive and interesting and is interested in what I have to say as well.
Is there a woman out there who you went on a date with recently that is wondering why you're not calling her back right now?
No, I'm very good with communication. If I have, even if I don't feel that there was a strong connection, if somebody reaches out to me, I want to give them that courtesy.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll call Kimberly and see what she thought of her date with you and whether or not she really does share some of your interests. The second date update continues. A relatively picky guy when it comes to people he wants to spend his time with, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's very selective. Met Kimberly on Match, who seemed to check those boxes Chase looks for. She's attractive. She's interesting. Seemed to have a lot of shared interests. The interest she showed on the date, the questions that she asked
Lots
him,
of questions. Seemed very interested.
felt connected to her. She initiated the kiss at the
No
end
hug.
of the
I
date.
think it was just a hug.
Sorry.
Just a big, firm, solid, squeezy hug.
That's a great description there, Jen. And
She rub her boobies all over you. We women do that sometime. You don't have to answer. I'm just playing with you.
I think you flustered
I could
Chase.
tell.
Did I get flustered talking about boobies? I'm sorry.
I didn't want to hug and tell.
You're such a gentleman, Chase.
We've had men call. What was it? I remember we had one where the reason she didn't call him back because when she hugged him, he said to her, "Oh, those are real." Didn't he say something like,
yeah.
"Oh
Like,
man,
damn, girl, those are real."
Damn,
Yeah.
girl, those are real. That's what it was.
And then she told you to call her, right?
I told her that I would call her, but she seemed to be giving me the right signals, and she took that well. She was like, "Great,
Great.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
you did more than once. She never called back.
that's right."
But then here we are.
You ready for us to call her?
Yes, please. I just really want to put myself at ease and know what's going on
All
here.
right. Let's do it.
Hello?
Hi. Can we speak to Kimberly, please? Is this Kimberly?
Yes, who's this?
Hi, Kimberly. It's Jeff, Jen, Fritch, and Tim at Q102. How are you this morning?
Wait, really?
Yeah, you got a few minutes? We're all here. Good morning.
Yeah, I guess. This is different.
I know.
Yes, it is.
That's definitely us. And we like doing things that are different. But welcome to our show. If you're okay with spending a few minutes talking with us, we'd love to get to know you a little bit. You cool with that?
Yeah, sure, but what's this about?
Well, it started with a phone call from a guy you went on a date with recently, Chase, who took you to Boca, which is one of my favorite places on earth. And he had some very complimentary things to say about you. I guess he would like to, hopefully, in the near future, see you again. He might have even reached out once or twice, and you've probably just been busy or had other stuff going on. But we wanted to check in and maybe get your thoughts, some feedback on your date with Chase.
Yeah, he's really nice, super smart, and very interesting.
And he sounds like a gentleman. He sounds like a solid dude.
I mean, he is. He definitely is. It's just he's kind of a little too out there for me, and I just don't think we're on the same wavelength.
That's weird because he thought that you guys shared a lot of similar interests.
Yeah.
I mean, we do, but he is just really into aliens, to a different level. That's
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, we're going to tag out, Jen. It's all you.
Hey.
Let's tag in our resident alien expert, Jen
When you
Jordan.
say he's really into aliens, give me some examples.
He was listing off 10 different documentaries he wanted me to watch. He's been to Area 51 and he's involved with some group that goes out to the desert and tries to summon them.
What's it called, Jen?
Is it the C5 group?
What's the name of it?
So what
Really?
Jen,
I need a
I
contact
knew you
number.
would know.
what Jen has done, or at least she's told us, is she sits in her backyard in the summer in her lawn chair and stares up to the sky and tries to use the power of her unconscious brain to connect with the aliens that are out there lurking
Gotta
here.
call them. You got to get into,
'Cause they're here to help
their
us.
vibration. They're
Here's
coming to
this.
help us. They're coming to help.
Nanu.
They're worried
Nanu,
about us
nanu.
because we're a bunch of idiots down here on Earth.
Nanu, nanu.
I know. It's
Fritz is
really
channeling
bad.
Mork.
I do remember that Mork and Mindy show from when I was a kid. He was an alien, wasn't he?
You know, it's really funny too. We, Tim and I were somewhere not long ago, and I was wearing my alien shoes and my alien T-shirt, and a young man approached me and was like, "Oh, dude, I love your outfit." He's like, "Have you been to Area 51?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "You gotta go."
Where was that? Where were we?
I don't want to reveal. I don't want to out the guy.
okay.
But he was like, he had been there, and he says, "You got to go." He says, "It's crazy. When you get a little too close, they come out of nowhere and chase you off the property."
Oh, that sounds great.
I'm like, he's like, "There's something going on out there."
Where do
There's
we sign up?
I know. I know. So, I mean,
Listen, some people really believe, and some people think that it's just a bunch of bull.
I mean, it's not that I don't believe. It's yeah, sure, there's something going on there,
Sure.
but I mean, it doesn't.
Until they
take over
get
my
here,
life.
I'm going to continue living in my present reality. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
But I also think it's one thing if you believe, but it's another thing if you believe and you have to talk about it all the time. Like I'm okay with Jen, believing in her own backyard capabilities. But if that was all she talked about, I would.
Well, we don't have to go home with her.
Yeah. But if we did, we probably would still be talking about it, Like it's okay, but also not.
Well, are there other passions that you think you two share that would help balance it out, or is there no hope of a second date here, Kimberly?
I mean, he's pretty all in on that one, so I don't think it would work out.
So let me
Fend
ask you
for
this.
yourselves.
You said that Chase said that you were asking a lot of questions. So were you sort of egging this on because it was so out there? Did he feel like you wanted to talk about that?
I was just curious because I've never seen someone, go so hard for a subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
All right,
commit,
well,
man.
we appreciate the explanation. You sound lovely. I'm sorry we couldn't get a match, Chase.
This is pretty unfortunate to hear. I had much higher hopes for things between us, Kimberly. But I guess I'm just another non-believer.
Well, I don't think
Or
she's a
just not
non-believer.
Not an active pursuer of. Yeah. I mean, have you?
What I mean, it would be ridiculous to think that there is nothing, right? What I mean is somebody that is more aware of the reality of the situation. Currently, the government is declassifying and making available to the public right now information that our military branches have been holding on to since, yes, back to Roswell, New Mexico. They are called unexplained aerial phenomena, UAPs, and there's a lot of information going out right now.
Okay.
I know that it seems funny, but honestly, this is something that you all should look into as having on your show. You should honestly have a segment that starts to look into what is being declassified right now. You made a joke that when they get here, you'll take it more seriously. Well, they're here, and it is happening right now.
Have you, when you've gone out into the desert with your group, have you had an interaction or something you believe to be contact?
I have not. What I have seen is very, very strong evidence that the government is hiding this information, right? Like they are guarding things in the desert. And it is very clear that those things pose a threat.
In some way, shape, or form. I just want them to know when they come that I'm a friend. I pose them no threat, There's part of me that thinks they're coming to get me to take me home.
I wish they'd hurry up and get here.
How quick can we get on a flight to Phoenix?
You just wait.